subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow the sound of my voice. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Hello, my name is Tantali and this is my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on my video, and especially if you're new here from Facebook that I just did the live of doing this look. Thank you so much for watching this video and subscribing to my channel. And if you are not new here, welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna give you a few tips that I use to plan my very small and intimate wedding so that you can maybe use it for yours if that is your wedding of choice. So let's just get right into the video. Just for you and for everyone else who you are planning to invite to your wedding, now is not the best time to do so because we are supposed to not, have a gathering of too many people. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna give you my details. So I had 30 people at my wedding. 30, and that's I know that's a crazy small number, but that is exactly how I wanted it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is your guests. So the main goal of me wanting to have an intimate small wedding was to mainly invite people who had an input in my relationship, people who had contributed into our relationship, people who had actually seen us grow and had given us both, advice during our relationships, whether we were fighting or not, people who were just invested in us as a couple, and people who would be genuinely happy to see us get married. Because when you invite just any old body, these people are not happy for you. Like, not everyone at the wedding is going to be there for you 100%. This shortlisting your guest list is the best thing to do. If you find either your husband-to-be doesn't want a specific person at the wedding, even if that person is your friend, now is not the time to bring up a fight about it. Just, let it go, invite them to the reception, because when it comes to doing the nuptials, that is a very sacred and special time. And if either one of you has a negative feeling about anyone that's watching you do that, it's not going to sit well with the other. So if you in particular don't care for somebody to actually, be there to watch you say your vows, and you still care for them as a person, you haven't known them long enough, but that they've impacted your life positively after you met them, you can invite them to the reception. And this is what I did. I didn't invite people that were people that would bring drama to the wedding, either on his side or on my side. We had to sit down together and talk about the list, person by person. How do you feel about this person? Do you really want this person there? The list had started initially with like 100 people, and bringing it down to 30 was quite a challenge, but it was worth it. So these people that you invite to the reception only, some of them were very, very happy to even get that invitation, but there were a few who were like, you didn't even invite me to watch you guys get married, and like threw a whole fit, and some of them blocked me and everything. And that just goes to show you who your real friends are really quickly, and you don't want these type of people in your life anyway. So if someone is going to be happy for you, they're going to be happy for you regardless of whether or not they see you do your nuptials. So that is a really good way to shortlist your friends too. Eliminating kids is a good way to, not eliminating kids, like eliminating kids from your wedding ceremony is a good way to minimize your guest list as much as possible without people feeling such a huge impact, unless they are of course your children. Think about eliminating people's kids. Let's just have it be an adult ceremony. But also I have my own personal feelings about having kids at weddings. Like, I just don't think it's necessary for them to be there, and once the grown-ups start getting drunk, these kids see everything, and it's just not a good look. So now moving from the guests to the wedding party, of course there's people who want the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and everything. I personally did not want that because my friends are my family, so I didn't want to choose any specific people to be in my bridal party. I picked my sister, and my husband chose his best friend to just, they didn't even stand near us. They just signed the marriage certificate just to keep things simple, to keep people's feelings at bay. Just do it you and your spouse. That's honestly, it's a foolproof way to keep everybody happy. It cuts the cost of buying and sewing and like all of these grooms and bridesmaids dresses and all that craziness that goes around, the fittings, the people flying from different places so you can all have the wedding rehearsal and everything. It just cuts all that out, so your budget is now lower. And now moving into budget, you want to create a very realistic budget for your small intimate wedding. You don't want to look back at your wedding and feel like, oh my gosh, I spent so much, like that wedding is the wedding that made me go bankrupt. Like I have seen couples who have this grand, big, huge wedding that they spent all their money on, and after the wedding they start to resent each other because they're now in debt because of the wedding. Spend within your means. It is very, very important to spend within your means, but also if you know you can widen your wallet a little bit comfortably and it's not going to put you in a compromised position later, absolutely go ahead and do it. So when it comes to budget, again, for my wedding, I didn't ask anybody else to contribute to the wedding. It was just mainly my husband and I who did the heavy lifting with the budget and everything. I know there are some people who have like wedding committees where everyone contributes money to pay for the entire wedding, and the problem with that is because people have a financial input in your wedding, they think that they can now have an opinion on how it goes and what you look like and you know where you have it. People just have these opinions that are very, very strong. Why? Because they gave in their money. So I did not want to deal with all of that. I did not want anyone to have the power to say, well, I contributed so I should have a say. No. I just made sure that it was only me and my husband that were dealing with this, because dealing with that stress, your wedding is such a special day. You don't want to remember it as being stressful. People can start to butt heads a lot because of these whole like being opinionated. And you can find that, let's say like your mother or your mother-in-law or you know your parents or something say, actually I can help you, I can fork out this portion of the wedding and I'll help you pay for it. Once that happens, let me tell you something. They're going to start telling you that, yeah, my friends are coming because I paid for the venue. My friends are all coming and blah, 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 blah. This is true tea. Like I have seen this happen. And for some of my friends, it's currently happening and it's really sad. Be respectful about how you decline their offer. Just respectfully decline and, you know, find a different way to fund your wedding. If truly you don't have enough money, just either wait until you've saved up enough. Don't just rush into the wedding and try to one up whoever's wedding you were at last, because that is not a realistic way to look at things. Finances these days is the #1 cause of divorce. If you don't have that figured out from the jump, that is not a good sign. Be realistic, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, and stay within the budget. Stay within your budget, okay? What we did with our wedding budget, when it came to like the food and the venue and everything, how we cut down the budget significantly was the location we got married was a small little beach that we frequented every summer. Like that was just our little spot. We always sat there and like read books, and you know, like I went into the lake all the time, and it was just like right by our house. Like no one was ever there. I was like, why is no one ever here? Because every time we went there it was just empty and it was just very, very small. It was just us and some ducks all the time. I'll post some pictures here. So we checked to see if there were any rules and regulations on having a wedding there, if people from the state would come and, you know, like stop it because it's public grounds. But none of that happened. It was a free location, so stunningly beautiful. The weather was really, really good. That's something you should look at too. Make sure your weather, if you're doing it outside, is gonna be something that it's gonna be favorable to you and your guests, because we didn't have any tents, so we want to make sure that it's not raining. And also another thing with being outside, when you're doing such a small intimate wedding, you want to feel like you're part of something larger. Just because it's small does not mean you want to like make it cramped. You know what I'm talking about? So having it outside, it just opens up, you know, everything. It opens up your guests to seeing a beautiful location. It really makes them feel connected to nature and being part of whatever is happening, being part of your nuptials. It's really beautiful. It's sensory effectiveness. It really helps with that. That cut the budget for location significantly. We didn't pay. Yeah, so whenever I look back at those pictures, everyone was like, this looks like a destination wedding, and it really was not. It was just like right around the corner from where we live. Just look for those gems. There's just gems everywhere. You could look for specific little spots in places where it's just gonna be you, your guests, and nature, and the beauty of God. Oh, it's just everything. So when it comes to dresses, the thing is, there's a misconception that having a small intimate wedding means just minimizing everything and being really simple and minimalistic with your dress and everything. That doesn't have to be the case. Small can be grand. You can do, you can wear that beautiful, beautiful dress that you've always wanted to wear at your dream wedding. Another thing that I did that made the overall look stunning was I gave everybody a dress code. I just gave them a theme color, which was black, and that's my favorite color, and it goes with everything. So I thought that was really, really beautiful. Everyone has something black in their closet. It can be just one color that, or a few colors like pastels or nudes or earth tones that people have in their closet, and you can have it come together so beautifully. Okay, so initially the dress that I had picked for the wedding was $20. It was a $20 very simple dress, just white long dress. It had nothing on it, absolutely nothing on it, and it was just simple as that, and that was it. But then my husband tried it. He was like, I don't think this is what you want for your wedding, and he was right. Mind you, this is in the span of a week and a half. We planned this in a week. We were engaged for 2 weeks total. 2 weeks total is how long we were engaged. So we planned this wedding in a week and a half. So when we went to these different wedding shops, I found the dress that I really wanted, and I rushed it to tailor, and we had to pay premium price for them to actually fix the dress because there was a lot of beading. As you can see, well, I'll put the picture here. As you can see in this picture here, like there's a lot of intricate beading that went into the dress, so we had to really get it fixed. I had to bring it in here into my waist a little bit. It was the only place that was really big on it. And I'm not a veil person. I didn't choose to wear a veil with that dress because I just thought the dress was a standalone show in itself. Even if it's a small wedding, you want to make it feel big. You want to make it feel full, and you want a thick timber to the wedding. So I chose to go to a prom dress store, and I found this really beautiful silver metallic dress that it fit me like a glove, and that's what I wore to the reception. So see, now for the most part, because I saved money on the location, I can spend it on dresses. So when it comes to food, you can either, when you're doing a small wedding, that I'm seeing more and more on like Pinterest, and the millennials, they're getting really, really creative with the type of food and the type of cakes that they're having now. Some people choose to do cupcakes for a wedding cake, or donuts. I've seen donuts as well as a wedding cake. What I did with my wedding cake, we just went to a regular, cake tasting, and we picked a neutral flavor that we know everybody is gonna love, and it was strawberry shortcake. If you have people in your wedding guest party that are food sensitive, you want to put that into consideration as well. You might end up paying more because of all the alterations that you're doing to the cake, but at the end of the day, they're all gonna like it. They're all gonna eat it, so it is going to be worth it. Another thing that we cut cost on was a reception venue, and that was at a restaurant that we both loved. The inside of it, the ambiance is just stunning. It is a beautiful, very characteristic place. It's very like moody, and the lighting is very dark, and very intimate type of setting, and there's a dance floor too. There's live music there. So what we did is we went to the restaurant and told them to create a small tiny menu, entrees, a dessert, and we paid for their first drinks because there's 30 of them. You can handle the first drink, but they can get their drinks. They can get their own drinks after that because you're paying for their meal. They got to order what they really wanted to eat. Or there is another option to do a potluck and have that be your guest's contribution to the wedding, and then delegate whichever type of dishes you want people to bring. People are not going to refuse. It's better for you to ask them to bring food than ask them to give you money for your wedding. Trust me. This is a very important one. When it comes to time, keep time. Please be realistic with your time. Don't create a time that is so crazy. Don't create a time that is full of traffic. Give them maybe an hour so that people can show up slowly. And the time that you said that you're going to start the wedding, it should be the time that you actually start the wedding. I have been to many, I'm telling you, I think every single every single wedding that I have been to, the bride and groom have been late. And I'm not talking about like 30 minutes late. I'm talking about significant amounts of time late. When people are at your wedding, you want to respect people's time. People don't like their time being wasted, and people don't like to wait. It is paramount to us to be punctual with it so that everything can also run smoothly at your wedding. And also when it comes to music, like if you're doing it outside, there's people who have speakers, like you know those portable speakers. That is a lifesaver. And I think for my final tip that I will give you in this video is to drink after your nuptials. Please don't even take a shot because of your nerves. I know this is I know you would be tempted to, and I know like you're like, oh, I need something to take the edge off, or even smoking or whatever. Just do your best to be as sober as possible for the actual vows. Just be sober for that moment. You're not going to regret it. And after that, you can go ham. After that, you can do whatever you want to do. I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea on how to plan a intimate wedding. I know I haven't touched on absolutely everything, but I can create another video like this if you have any questions that you would like me to actually touch on and expound on. This is what I can think about off the top of my head to help you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I really hope you will take some of these things into consideration when it comes time to plan your wedding. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and God bless your union. I will see you in my next video. Bye.